We are getting our start out this morning with a pretty busy trailhead. So just lots of people coming in and going out. Saw a couple of different groups of backpackers headed in. And we only have about 5 miles to do today to our first camp. We are staying at Appleton Junction along the Duck River. So yeah, we'll see what's ahead. I think it's just about 1,300 feet of elevation gain today. We are actually pretty lucky to get this permit for the Seven Lakes Basin Loop. I think it's also known as the High Divide Trail. It's a 19-mile loop around the Seven Lakes Basin, and there's 5,300 feet of elevation gain. So right now we have decided to go in the counterclockwise direction. Well, not right now. We decided that at the ranger station while we got our walk-up permit. And the reason I say that we're lucky is because this is a popular loop, and most years it would still be under some considerable snowmelt conditions. But unlike many other places in the US, particularly the West Coast, the snowpack has lasted and been extremely heavy, so lasted well into the summer. But at Olympic National Park, they've had an early melt. These permits cannot be reserved until July. I think she said mid-July. And so here we are walking up in June, and that means that there are more permits available. And there shouldn't be any snow. So we are pretty lucky. Ew, what the heck is that?
Make you lose your appetite.
It's like a mushroom. Yeah, it looks like goblin skin. Guys, it smells so good here right now. Pine. Oh, fresh balsam candles. But so much better. Oh, love it. Smells so good.
Sunshine.
A little peek. Getting a little bit of sunshine hitting the trail up here. It's a pretty moderate temperature today. I would say it's probably in the low to mid 50s, which feels perfect when we're moving, especially uphill. We have made it to camp. This is Appleton Junction Camp off the Duck River and the Seven Lakes Basin Loop. This is our first camp on the trip, and we have such wonderful accommodations here. A great little living room area and even a campfire ring set up for us. So we will try to have a campfire tonight. This is our only campsite for the trip that we will be allowed to have a campfire. But it's still pending to see if we will be able to start a fire since everything here is soaking wet. So that'll be a fun task for tonight. But we'll make the best of it.
We have plenty of time.
Yeah, even if it takes all night. Home sweet home. And now it's time to set up the inside of my tent so that I can have everything ready to go in case the weather starts to turn and the skies start to open up on us, which may happen today. This is my stuff sack of clothes. This bag also works to inflate my sleeping pad. So one of the first things I have to do is actually take my clothes out of here so that I can inflate my sleeping pad. And then I have my pillow. Also a good idea to get your sleeping bag out shortly after getting to camp, especially if you're using a down sleeping bag so it can retain some of its loft. Since I traveled here from California, my sleeping bag has been in my pack for a couple of days now, so I want to get it out as soon as possible so that it can get more loft, because the loft is what keeps you warm. My sleeping pad slides into the back of my sleeping bag, so just getting that situated. A cozy fleece, beautiful. You can go in there. This is just gonna loft up tonight so that it can keep me warm. Just as everything was set up, sure enough, it starts to rain. I'm glad I made the decision to set up my tent right when we moved into camp, because surely enough, just a few minutes after everything was all set up and I sat down to have a snack, it started to rain. So I have no idea how long it will rain for now, but I am prepared to wait it out in a warm, dry spot. I kind of wish I had like a book to read or something, but I have some stuff I can do on my phone and just chill out until the rain subsides. Well, my Aunt Catherine.
Huh?
I'm saying your name wrong. My Aunt Catherine made a great attempt at the fire, but everything is just too wet here. Nothing would really catch and take. So we've aborted that mission, and now it's mission dinner via jet boil. Tonight I'm gonna have a Next Mile Meals dehydrated backpacking meal. It is the meatball marinara. I've never had that one before, but this seems as good of a night as any. Good morning from day 2 in Olympic National Park. For day 2, we have about 3.5 miles of hiking ahead of us, so not that much, but there will be a lot of climbing today. We will climb out of this rainforest and out of this tree coverage that we're in, where it's keeping everything cold and damp, and hopefully into the beautiful sunshine that I see well above the canopy. Face when I see all these daisies. I love daisies. We've got purple. And look, all the daisies. Climbing up these stairs. Definitely starting to notice some clearing of the trees. A lot more daylight coming through up here. We're just continuing to climb. taking a minute. My Aunt Catherine's calling for me to wait. I think she was filming something, but I'm a sweaty mess anyway, so I guess a break is a good idea. We made it down to Bridge Creek. This is the first crossing of Bridge Creek. So we are officially entering Solduck Park. Apartment is inside of Solduck Park, which is what we'll be keeping tonight. Hey! Hey, bear, hey! Hey, bear! Hey, bear! Can't tell where it is.
Well,
I hear something over there,
no, I don't think that's
but it was definitely like right here.
It could have been a goat, just making it kind of grunt noise.
Yeah.
Hey, bear!
Should we continue? Stay right behind me.
Talking.
Hey, bear! Coming through! This is my trail.
Hey,
Oh,
hey.
there's goats.
Okay.
We've got goats, people. We've got goats. They're like, bear, where? Where's the bear? Shit, man. You have me going there. Don't play me like that. Do not play me. Like, where the hell is it? I don't see movement. Hi, baby. Fully convinced, 100% convinced it was a bear.
Oh, I love her being backpacking.
Yeah, 100% convinced it was a bear. You can go. Yeah, come over this way. Okay, now stay still. Welcome to Heart Lake, folks. Here we are. We've made it. Heart Lake.
Looking more.
Here's our campsite. We pulled in just in the nick of time because it is starting to rain. Just threw my tent up real quick and I'm gonna crawl back into it. I really highly recommend this Next Mile Meals meatball marinara. It's so good. Can you see that? It doesn't look as appetizing. That's a bunch of cheese right there in that shot. But it's really highly flavorful. Alright guys, I think I'm going to call it a night here. The sun will be out for many more hours, but I don't know that I will. There are a lot of mosquitoes. We're kind of getting eaten alive, but I can't complain. Today was an amazing day. We had some wildlife encounters. I saw my first bear out in the wilderness. Sorry, mosquitoes. And then that encounter with the mountain goats was just incredible. It was a little nerve-wracking, but yeah, so awesome. And then of course I thought I was getting attacked by a bear for a moment, but that all worked out. And then it rained a little bit right when we got into camp, but after a couple of hours it did clear up and we even got a minute or two of sunshine, so that was pretty amazing. So yeah, just really enjoying it. Tomorrow we actually hit the high divide, so we're gonna finish climbing what's behind me here, and then we're gonna be walking along the high divide. And we only have, I want to say like 4.5 miles to do tomorrow. So it should be a pretty easy day, another really relaxed day where we can just take our time and film and just enjoy the trail. So, good morning! Time for day 3 out here in Olympic National Park. It is breakfast time. I am looking forward to having a warm beverage. It was a little bit chilly last night, and my tent got an awful lot of condensation on it, so that certainly didn't help things. But I think I'm gonna have some tea for breakfast, or with breakfast, instead of coffee today. That's just kind of what I feel like. I have a vanilla chai tea that I'm going to fix up here, and then some other just cold food items to have to snack on for breakfast. I wanted to address something about how we are doing this trip. So we're taking the Seven Lakes Basin loop in the clockwise direction, and we are taking 3 nights and 4 days to do this trip. Plenty of people that we've met on trail are doing it in actually 1 day. It's a 19-mile loop, and if you were looking to challenge yourself, we've seen some trail runners and just some hikers doing it in 1 day. Most people seem to be doing it in 1 night, which is breaks down to about 10 miles a day. So they're staying back in the Lakes Basin, kind of back where we are, either Heart Lake or Lunch Lake, for their single night. And then I don't think we've met anybody that's doing it
in multiple nights.
And we're doing it in 3 nights.
Yeah.
And the reason that we're doing that is because we're in the area. I flew up from Southern California to do a trip with my Aunt Catherine up here in Washington. And we wanted to be out here, you know, so to take leisurely days, spend some time at camp or whatever, to be able to just experience being out here is kind of what we were looking to do. So I just wanted to address that, because in case this is something that you were interested in doing, that way you know it doesn't take 3 nights, 4 days to do this loop. It's totally reasonable to do it in 1 night. Many people do. But this is just our personal choice, so.
We did it because we wanted to.
Exactly. We love it out here and we want to be out here.
Yeah.
for Lunch Lake or to get down into the Lakes Basin. If we want to cut down, the ranger said that we could go this way, even though to me this is indicating not to do it, but I think it's just to keep people that are trying to do the main trail on the main trail. So we'll have to talk and see if this is what we want to do. So we have decided to take the lower route and head on down into the Lakes Basin a little early instead of staying on the ridge, passing Lunch Lake, and doubling back. And that's simply because of the weather. Here is our campsite for the night. We have some close quarters here. There were other campsites available, but this one had the best views. So we're bunking up pretty close, but it works. It works.
We're relatives.
We're
family.
We're family. It's good. So I'm going to give you a quick pan of the area. If you see those bright green hills back over that way, yeah, we saw a bear just right up above the talus field, just grazing up there. There's a mosquito bog. And then keep panning. There's all sorts of little trails that lead to different campsites all along, so you can see a tent right up over there. Somebody's camping, and then this would be Lunch Lake.
We better put this away and go make sure they're not like eating all of this stuff.
Okay. Well, that's our camp up that way. So if we can get past the deer and make sure that they're not eating all of our stuff, then I think we're just gonna hop into our tents and try to escape this other wildlife that surrounds us, which is the mosquitoes, because they're really, it's not raining and I'm wearing my full rain suit because even with the DEET, they're still biting me. Once they bite you, they tell all their friends what's good, and I have the O blood type, which is their favorite, so it's just been a feast. So yes, I'm fully decked out in my best mosquito defense, and I'm going to hop into my tent, which will add another layer of defense, and hopefully I won't get any more bites.
So it's Mama, Daddy, and Baby.
Good morning. We have woken up to a beautiful day out here in the Olympic National Park. Today is our last day. We have about 8.5 miles of hiking to do, so we're getting an early start relatively. We're starting out at 8 a.m. and the first thing we have to do is climb out of the Seven Lakes Basin back up to the High Divide Trail, and that's about a mile of hiking. The second half of which will be just a series of switchbacks to gain that elevation back up to the about 5,000 foot mark that is the High Divide Trail. So let's get going. There's the climb up back to the High Divide Trail. Just up these steep switchbacks. Great way to start the day. Get the heart going. There you can see the hillside coming down with those trees nearly horizontal about halfway down the scree field. It's kind of crazy.